Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 5th through the 11th, and during that time we have a waning gibbous moon, and a waning gibbous is a good time for us to just work on those things that we've been working on since the new moon, make positive changes, get rid of bad habits, negative thinking, just kind of plow through, be positive, and get things accomplished. We then have the third quarter moon that comes in on April 10th. And again, it's not really a really big disruptor or anything. It's just a time for things to kind of start coming together where we're like, oh, this is actually working. Maybe this isn't working. We're going to be positive and try to wrap up those things as we approach the next new moon, which is coming up shortly next week. But it's a time for us to kind of just wrap things up and just work hard and get things accomplished. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Sagittarius. So, as always, please take what resonates, but leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this particular reading is to bring love into the situation. Okay, let's see what the Sagittarius Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder for you, just real quickly this week, is that you pay attention to synchronicities. Just try to pay attention a little more than you normally would. If it's something that you do, then you know. If you don't, I'm going to give you an example. So I always say that repeating number patterns, that kind of thing. It could be a song you overhear or an animal. The conversation you overhear, that'll be my example this week, is imagine that you're thinking, should I buy this car or should I not buy this car? And you're walking down the city street and there's two people coming at you and they're engaged in conversation, and you just kind of overhear one of them say, you should definitely buy the car. And you continue walking and you're like, did that really just happen? So I've had this kind of thing happen so many times where I'm like, did I just hear that? Because that's something I'm actually working on that myself, right? So pay attention to those synchronicities. They can really blow your mind. So anyway, that's my fun weekly reminder. Let's get into this reading, Sagittarius. April 5th through the 11th, bring love into the situation. And your current present energy right now, Queen of Wands. So, you're taking some time to understand not only your own passions, the things that drive you, the things that light a fire under you, but you have the ability to look around you right now at your friends, family, people in your realm, maybe even work people, and understand their motivations when it comes to passions, the things that drive them. That's just kind of one of those awareness moments where the queen, has the ability to have that awareness for herself, but also with her constituents, and look around and say, oh, okay, you can kind of just for a minute straighten all the jumble out and kind of see everybody's motivators when it comes to, oh, well, that passion is driving this person to do this thing. You just kind of get to see the big picture. So that's what you're doing right now. Your current situation is the King of Pentacles. So while you're able to see what everybody's drivers are and kind of have that understanding, the King of Pentacles, the kings are about the knowledge of a thing, of their suit. So the King of Pentacles knows how to make money, knows how to deal with money, knows how to invest, knows how to turn things into things, right? Knows how to make material things appear, but also knows how to manage everything around, right? So this is what the king does, and also knows how to do it for the betterment of his constituency. So what's best for everyone? The king would be someone who runs a company and knows that, when I make money, everybody makes money. And, when the company does good, everybody does well. And if this person, they just can see the big picture. So you're doing that right now too. You're seeing the big picture on that and kind of what's everybody's motivating factors. All right, you're the root of this situation. Wow, King of Cups. Look at all the royalty showing up for you. So King of Cups is just like I explained with the King of Pentacles. The King of Cups does that with emotions. So, where now we've got wands, pentacles, and emotions. at the root of this is you really understanding the emotional drivers of people. So now we've got passion drivers, and we understand why people are motivated monetarily or with physical material things. But now you can also see what is driving people emotionally. This is a lot of royal energy going on. What's in your recent past here is the Page of Wands. So you might be nurturing some new passion where you're bringing all these things to it. Maybe you're starting to understand that, like, oh, look, I can, this new thing that I'm nurturing, I can have an overview. I can understand the passion. I can make money doing this, and I can also, understand the emotions behind it. Whatever it could be. I'll use being a musician. Maybe you've newly entered into some musical project, and you're just able to understand everything that goes into it. What's happening on the financial side of things. Okay, you understand that there's an emotional driver to it, but you understand there's passion there too. So very interesting to see this much royalty. We'll see. This could also indicate a lot of people in your situation. So let's continue to bring these cards out and see what's going on here. What's on your mind this week is the Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of waiting for seeds that you have previously planted to come to fruition, to come to harvest. And usually it's kind of a time where there's just not much you can do. You're kind of maybe thinking about things like this because there's nothing you can. You've done everything you can. You're just waiting for these seeds to come. It doesn't have to be financial seeds, although it very well could be. I see this also as like just things in your life that you've planted the seeds on, and you're kind of waiting for things to kind of mature and come to you. So let's continue on. What is just ahead of you this week is a little bit of rest and meditation. So you might just be in deep thought. And that's why some of these, especially these thoughts coming about, where you're thinking of big picture. You're thinking of things in a big picture way when it comes to the Queen, understanding passions, this King, the knowledge of how to do things, this King, the knowledge of the emotion. So, and it's almost like a lot of times when you have this many royalty figures too, it can indicate different people, and sometimes family members. So there might be some family stuff going on that you're kind of thinking about what is the motivator here and there. Well, let's continue to go here. In your advice position, things happening very, very quickly. Um, well, that's just an indicator of things coming in hot and heavy real quick here. What is beyond your control this week is some new journey when it comes to this. So, through this deep thought and this understanding, I think it just sets you off on a new way of being for whatever reason. Um, yeah, I think whatever it is for you. And again, tarot is a template. This can template over so many different things. For some of you, this will be a family situation where you're kind of seeing an overview, taking time to meditate and think about it, but things are happening quickly and there's really not much you can do. It's almost like your hands are a little bit tied because you're waiting for things to come to fruition. And it's seeds that have already been planted that you can't do anything about. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? And that would be action on some material or financial front. So you're either trying to avoid that, or it is your secret desire is to kind of get the ball rolling and make things happen. This new journey is inevitable for you, so that could have something to do with that, but that'll be a big question for you this week. Is it your secret desire to have things move on the financial or material front, or are you just trying to avoid that altogether? In your outcome this week is the Hermit card, which goes right along with this rest and meditation card. So both of them fours, like I was talking about synchronicities. Look up angel number 44. See if that means anything to you with this week. This reading is very vague, and I apologize for that, but it is just kind of vague. Bring love into whatever this situation is. Again, is it some kind of family situation? Are there some things going on? Where you're having to look at things from all this different angle. Go ahead and take the time to think about things this week, whatever it is. You're on this new journey. There's nothing, I feel like that's inevitable. There's nothing you could do to stop that. There's something that's kind of forcing your hand to make you be on this new journey, but you're trying to just figure out what is your next step. And you do that here with the Hermit card and this rest and meditation card. Is just really thinking about, just go within a little bit, take some time. It looks like you've got time because you're waiting for things to happen. You're kind of at a standstill. And I just feel like there's just a lot of thinking with this, with whatever's going on with you this week. What is hidden from you, Sagittarius, is the Hierophant. So any sort of guidance, is not really where you are. And I think that's because you're just going within to find the answer. So this could be so many different things. And it's really, um, hmm, I'm just feeling like I'm missing a card here, to be honest. Bring love into the situation. You're being very observant. And also, I mean, we do have this king here of cups. So you're definitely, I think you understand where the love needs to be. What is happening for you? Again, it's going to be different for different Sagittarians. Something is happening so quick this week that you're just going to have to stop and almost think about your next step because it's forcing you into a new journey. For some of you, that's going to make complete sense. For others, it won't. So that's just where I am. Let's see what the final message here from the Soul Oracle says for Sagittarius. Even though this was very vague, it's like things happening quickly, and those things could template over anything. For some, it's a family situation. For some of you, it's a work situation. But take the time to just think about your next step. Just be very, very careful and think it through. And you've got the answers inside of you. The Hermit always does. All right, final message from the Soul Oracle deck, the creative no. So you may need to be saying no to something. Also interesting. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Sagittarius this week. Okay, it is the card called Invitation. And this card says, the words you speak are an invitation to life, a request to bring energy into form. Choose your words carefully. Bring love into the situation. Choose your words carefully. I think choose your actions carefully. Take the time to rest and meditate. You're forced upon a new journey by rapidly changing things. There's nothing you can do about that, but you do want to just be careful of your first and next steps. So make sure you're taking time to evaluate that, Sagittarius. And that's all I can say. I do if you're comfortable sharing, and if you know more what was going on in this reading than I do today, please drop me a comment and let me know. It was just a very strange lay of the cards. Again, for some of you, this will be a family situation. For some of you, a work situation. Something's changing, and it doesn't even really give me an indicator of what or how. It's just happening very rapidly. So, Sagittarius, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can use in your life in a positive way. Again, if you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below and let me know. If we have questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe will help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see if this story continues or if there's a completely new energy here for you then. So thanks so much, Sagittarius. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.